This is going to be episode 113 of the LostTrailRunner Podcast, as well as episode 137 of Ron's Update. And the reason for that is I haven't recorded the LostTrailRunner since last August, and I need to put an episode on there and start back actually doing something on that podcast. I'm in my kitchen again this morning. I seem to be in the kitchen quite a lot when I record. I don't know what the deal is with that, but I'm getting ready to make myself a sandwich and then hopefully get ready to go out to Stone Mountain with my GoPro Hero 5 and record some video for my blog, which is also lacking. So that's what's going to be going on this morning. I need to give you an update on what's been happening since, whenever the last time it was I recorded. I have run a couple of races, both of them trail races, just two. One of them at Little Mulberry Park at night, which I think I put in my Ron's Update podcast. And the second one was at Chateau Elan on the 18th of November. That's the crucial one because I'm in training for a half marathon in December, on December 17th, and I have been using Galloway's coaching program with Chris Twiggs being the coach, who's down at Amelia Island. And I had been doing rather well with that program, and then I had a slight injury that screwed me up, and I wasn't able to do a couple of weeks of training. So he reworked my schedule to make up for when I wasn't able to do what I was supposed to do. And I was going fairly good. And then this trail race I did on the 18th of November out at Chateau Elan, it was a 5.5 mile trail race. I was running fairly decent. Well, let me back up a little bit. The Wednesday before that, I ran with my daughter Laura over at the Greenway Trail in Lilburn, and we were doing a race rehearsal type run, and I had kind of a twinge in my left, I don't know if you call it hamstring, butt muscle, whatever it is, on the left side, but it didn't really bother me that much. Okay, that was prior to the 18th trail race. Okay, I went to the trail race, and they had two races. They had a 3 mile and they had a 5.5 mile, and I registered for the 5.5 mile. And it was a 2-loop course. And they had it set up so the first loop you did, I think, 3 miles. And I guess the second loop was 2.5 to come out right. But anyway, I ran the first 3 miles, and right close to the end of the first 3 miles, I got that twinge in my left butt muscle. And I kept going, and it got worse and worse. And it ended up that I ended up basically walking for close to the last 1.5 miles of that race. I couldn't run, and I it was like I almost had to skip just to go. I mean, and when I would do an uphill, it would hurt worse than, going downhill or whatever. But walking, it was acceptable. I didn't hurt that bad. But I finished the race, and being the oldest person in the race and the only person in my age group, I won my age group, even though, wish I could talk. I won my age group even though, I had a lousy time. And my time was like a 1:26 for 5.5 miles. which was probably a 16-minute pace plus. But anyway, this since the 18th of November to now, which is the 26th, I haven't been able to run. I have walked a couple of times, but not as much as I should have been to help rehab, I guess. And now I'm in a bind again with my training because today is a 17-mile run, and there's no way I'm going to be doing 17 miles. I can't. I'm going to go out to Stone Mountain this afternoon and try to run a little bit just to see if I can. I haven't even attempted to run since that race. So if I can run, then I'll just chug along a little bit, but I can't go 17 miles. So they have a virtual option to that race where if you can't actually run the race, you can do a virtual between the race time and a certain date. I don't know what that date is, but I figure between the race now and whenever the deadline is, I should be able to get a half marathon in, maybe not at a race pace, but at least get the half marathon in, and I can still qualify for my t-shirt and my medal, Of course, I wouldn't count in the age group awards at all because you're not really doing the race, you're doing a virtual run. But that's fine. I don't care. Last year I won my age group, so this year I just won't even be in it except for virtual, if that's the case. Now, prior to the race, usually Kevin Gwynn, who has the Extra Mile podcast, has a meetup of all the people that listen to his podcast, and usually Jeff Galloway shows up, and and they record another podcast during the meetup. I plan on going to that sort of thing, even though I can't run the race. And there's a possibility that I might go down to the race on Sunday morning, the 17th, and actually, just hang out down there, not run it. And that's a possibility. We'll see. But right now, I'm going to finish getting my lunch ready and then get ready to go out to Stone Mountain and see if I can run. I doubt it very seriously, but I can certainly hope, okay? So I'll be back after a while. I'm here at Stone Mountain sitting in my car after my run. I came out here to see if I could run, and I was able to get in 35 slow minutes. I did a Galloway run walk of 15 and 15, and I'll have to say that my left leg still hurt, but not enough that I couldn't complete my 35-minute run. But I think I may be doing these short runs for a while just to recover. I'm going to be trying to rehab using I have an ultrasound at home. I'm going to run on my muscle as well as doing stretching and my foam roller. If that is the way to go, I have to read up and see. I don't want to injure it worse by doing things that, aggravate it. But I was able to get in 35 slow minutes. I think I averaged pretty close to just around 15-minute pace, which isn't anything to rave on about, but it's better than nothing at all. And I guess I'm just going to have to deal with that and recover slowly and get over it so I can continue running and get back to where I was. But I can tell right now that there's no way I'm going to be doing the Galloway half on December 17th. I'm definitely not going to be back where I can run long, in that short a time. which is a disappointment. But if I can switch to the virtual run and have a longer period of time to complete it, then I'll be happy. So I'm going to crank up my car and head back home and see what's going to go for the rest of the day. Do some planning on how to rehab myself in the best possible way. I thought that this past week just resting it would help, and it has, because after I injured it, I could not possibly run at all. So being able to come out here and go for 35 minutes and average at least a 15-minute pace is something.
Hey, thanks for listening to today's podcast. We'll be here next time. Keep the emails coming in and be sure to subscribe.